Hello YouTube, it's Carrie here, and I'm coming at you with a long overdue update. So anybody who used to be a regular follower of mine or is friends with me knows that I haven't really posted anything in about the past 3 years. And there's many reasons for that. The past 3 years have not been the best time for me. And there have been a lot of issues, which I've kind of got to go down a little bit slowly and break it down for you. So as you might know from my previous posts, I originally had MGB in 2009. I was over bypassed. I was revised in 2012, which was when I found out that I was over bypassed. I maintained my weight fairly decently for about, I don't know, a year. I maybe put on 10 or 20 pounds. But what happened beginning in the summer of 2013 is what I kind of got to focus on for how I'm doing right now. But I do want to do a little short recap of what happened in Rotan, because that was like the last update, really. I did a post for Proof Weight Loss Surgery Works and posted it to the wrong channel at first, so that was the last video that I did. Okay, so Rotan, the project did not turn out how I expected it to be whatsoever. I ended up being there for 5 months. It was an amazing learning experience. There were issues with the project. There were issues with the university and the ethics board and the work that I thought I was going to be doing that I wrote to the board about versus the work that I actually did, which was of a completely different nature. They had wanted me to do a very long consent form. A lot of the people that I was working with, first of all, there's a lot of mistrust for people coming in who are not a part of the community. There were issues, of course. National Geographic didn't want to risk participation dropout because of my master's. It wasn't really their concern. So in the end, I only found out after that I would not be able to use the work that I did down there for my master's. A lot of problems happened almost immediately after I got back. There were issues with the marriage, and my ex and I decided that we were finally going to pursue a divorce. And then there were things that happened while I was away and things that I found out after getting back that had to do with some of the social problems and crime problems in the community. That affected me quite a bit. So I put off school for a semester to try and deal with some of these things, and then everything just sort of got worse. But in the end, the final result was that I was not able to use that. I had to withdraw from the university because of the health issues that I was going through. I just couldn't manage it at the time. And so at this point, I'm chalking it up to an excellent learning experience. I mean, it did impart a lot of skills to me, and I learned, like I said, I learned a tremendous amount from the experience. I'll never, I would have done it anyhow, even if the university would have said, okay, well, you're not going to be able to use it. I said, okay, well, I'll take the semester off. I'm going to go and do this, and then I'll come back and do the other work, because it was such a great opportunity for me. So, moving on. The last WLSFA meet and greet that I went to was in 2013. I won Scuba Diver Life, not the top prize. I won second prize in Scuba Diver Life. Thank you, everybody who voted for me. That was so awesome. So I was able to go down to Uttila and do my Dive Master certification and training for free, and was awesome at UDC in Uttila. I highly recommend them to anybody going diving there. They're fantastic. After my ex and I decided to split up, that was in January, I later started dating somebody. That relationship was maybe not the best thing for me. I think I was sort of grasping at things that I felt I needed in my life, and because of that, I forgot about some of the most important principles in a partner that I know I need. So there was a lot. I don't know. There was a lot of. I don't even know. I gotta organize my thoughts for a second here. Hang on. Let me get back to you. Okay, so let's deal with the divorce first. My ex and I had been going to counseling together for a long time, trying to make it work. Everything seemed copacetic when we decided together that it wasn't salvageable. He put the papers in, what we had discussed, in front of our counselor, mind you, versus what he actually did were two completely different things. Totally. When I was served with the divorce papers, it was basically a big... I don't even know how to say this politically. He didn't want to give me anything. He didn't want to settle. He didn't want to go to arbitration, nothing. So it was like I knew it was going to be a big fight. Ironically, and also that's another reason why I didn't post anything for the past 3 years. Why would I give him legal fodder or anything else? Like I didn't want anything to be out there while I was going through that process. Anybody who has been through a messy divorce probably can identify with what I'm saying here. And then I got extremely sick. So the relationship that I was talking about before, the bad relationship, it was actually, I can't say it was all bad. When I got sick after getting back from Honduras, I got really sick. I got severe anemia. This is not from not taking iron supplements. This is, I don't think I talked about this before. So I picked up a parasite when I was in the islands. It's very, very common there. And with the structure of my MGB/RNY, I have the redundant tummy there and the bypass and then the new tummy over there and the whole thing. So it's that Y. Old stomach, new stomach. Those little parasites, what they do is they migrate up the intestinal tract to the area that's your upper small intestine for nutrient absorption because they're hitting whatever's coming right out of your tummy. And because there's nothing coming out of my tummy there, it was looking for something else to eat. And so this is macabre, but it started eating my blood. And it's funny because I kept going to the doctor, and the doctor was saying to me, well, are you bleeding internally? Like, where is this coming from? And I started doing shots for it, and the iron shots they didn't work for me. The only thing that worked for me was I went to the hematologist, and he scheduled me for IV iron infusions. So I had to go, I think, 3 or 4 times. I had to go down to the clinic and sit there with an IV full of iron in my arm for 4 hours, getting re-energized and being able to breathe again and function. Because the iron deficiency anemia was so bad at the time, I could barely dress myself. There was no oxygen in my system. I was breathing, but I felt breathless because it was like it wasn't getting oxygen from the air I was breathing. I literally felt like what I was experiencing was crazy. And it was so bad. I just couldn't function. Even just walking to the car, it was an ordeal. And because of that, because I went from being so highly active to being completely not able to be active whatsoever, my metabolism plummeted. Because I had no energy, because there was like no hemoglobin. My body was looking for energy, and I wasn't cooking for myself. So my boyfriend at the time, it was a very nice gesture of him. He kept bringing food over from his mom's house. What kind of food did she make? A lot of carbs. A lot of carbs. Guess what happened? Guess what happened? Everybody knows this. Massive regain. Massive regain. It came on like wildfire. I was gaining like 10 pounds a month kind of thing, consistently, every month, no matter what I did. And when it started to get rolling, even when I tried to mitigate it by doing a liquid diet for a while, nothing helped. And it just kept on that just upward spiral, and it was scary. It was more than disappointing. I was also dealing with a lot of depression and anxiety at the time, of course, for all the issues with the divorce, the issues with the illness, and then the regain happened, and it was just like mortifying. I went from, so when I was in Rotan, I was like in the 140 range, maybe to like 145. When I got back, I gained probably about 10 pounds. And then, so between the time I got back in October and around Christmas, I gained about 10 pounds. And then the next few months, I gained about another 10 pounds. So when I went to the WSFA meet and greet in 2013, I was like in the 160s. And actually, at the end of that weekend was the first time I saw 170 on the scale on my regain. And I was just like, oh my God, flipping out. But I'm like, oh, well, it's not that bad. When I first started gaining weight, I actually didn't mind it so much because my shrinkles started disappearing a little bit, and I got a little bit more in the chest and the rump. So I was like, oh, this looks good. This is not bad. I can deal with this. This looks good. But I couldn't make it stop. That was the problem. When all that other stuff hit, it was like there was nothing I could do about it. And it was almost dehumanizing, the feeling of feeling so out of control of your life. And this is where I have to say, like, I can't say everything was all bad about my ex-boyfriend. He was very devoted in that he would, like, every single one of his day off was spent taking me to the doctor because I had to go for iron shots like every week. We went to the hospital quite a few times because when you feel like you can't breathe and like you're going to pass out, that's pretty scary. That's pretty scary. I wasn't quite at transfusion level, but I was getting pretty darn close. Having to buy clothes again in a bigger size, because of course when I lost all that weight, I just gave everything away. I was like, I'm never gonna need to wear these clothes ever again. So I got rid of all of my clothes in bigger sizes, and I had nothing. Mortifying. I had to go, like, not that there's anything wrong with Walmart, but I had to go and buy fat clothes at Walmart, and I was just like, and of course I was broke from having to pay lawyers for all this time, and I truly feel like there was a part of me where I truly hated myself. I hated myself for getting back there. I no longer took pictures of myself. I didn't want to see myself that way. I stopped going out, like, with friends. I stopped going out clubbing. Depression and regain and anxiety, they all go hand in hand. One feeds the other. It's like a vicious circle of everything crap. And it took really a lot for me to get out of this. So I'm going to break on the video right now because let's make things manageable here. This is 3 years we got to catch up on. So I'll see you in the next video. Mwah!